Yo, what up? This is Norbert Jawormski, and welcome to my Slay the Spire 1 refresher course. If you've never played STS before and you got run over by the STS2 hype train, then this should get you up to speed. If you have played this game before, then this should help you remember what a defect does since we all thought our lovely lad was dead. Now, this presentation will cover a short description and history about the game, its main mechanic, and its characters, which function as classes. Now, Slay the Spire is a roguelike deck building game. Many would argue that it is the roguelike deck building game. While it being the first can be argued, pretty much most of the roguelike deck builders that come after it were heavily inspired by STS. If this game was any more mainstream, people would have called these games STS-likes, which is stupid and creates unnecessary friction. And yes, I know Rogue is the game that created this roguelike genre, so relax. Now, Slay the Spire was made by Anthony Giovanetti and Casiano. And extra shoutouts to Anthony as he made StimHack.com, which back then was the community site for Netrunner. Now, what is Netrunner, you may ask? Oh, it's the greatest card game of all time. That's all. And I have to stop myself because I'm gonna go on another 2-hour tangent about it. So I'll leave this slide by saying that Slay the Spire, the game I mean, was released in early access on 2007 and was fully released in 2019. Now in Slay the Spire, you play as one of the 4 protagonists and ascend towards top of the aforementioned Spire to aforementioned Slay the corrupted heart. So now you have questions like, what is this heart thing? Where did it come from? Why is it doing bad things, apparently? Why does the Spire have an entire city inside? What the hell is Meow, this creature? And why can it resurrect us over and over and over again? And the answer to that is, I don't know, man. Don't worry too much about it. As for the why, though, we can get to that later on. Now, how does this game play? Well, have you played Magic the Gathering? Pokemon TCG? Yu-Gi-Oh? Hololive? Grand Archives? Cookie Run? Netrunner? The greatest card game of all time? No? Well, then each turn you get energy resources, which you spend on playing these cards. And then some deal damage, some create defense, and some do something else. Once you're done, you end your turn, and then the enemies get a go. It's turn-based. And their intent is always displayed above them, so you're never gonna be surprised by what they'll do. And then when you win a fight, you get rewards. It's usually cards. And remember, reading the card explains the card. That will come up in the test later. There are also these things called relics, items that give permanent effects during the run, and then potions that give temporary ones. And well, that's pretty much most of it. And now that you know how it works, I guess we can talk about the characters, essentially the classes, or if you play Magic, the colors in this game. Let's start with the Ironclad, John Spire himself. Now, he's the very first character everyone plays when booting up this game, and for good reason. He has the simplest design philosophy in his cards. Many are just variations of deal big damage, and do big block, and get more strong. So, if you really just like to bonk things to death, then this guy is really your guy. Aside from the bonking, Ironclad's kit also revolves around gaining power at a cost, which is usually your HP, and exhaustion, which is removing cards from the deck, which sounds bad, but it's actually very good in this game. And remember what I said about using your HP? That is perfectly fine because Ironclad also has many ways to do some big heals and even increase his maximum HP. Now I said that Ironclad was simple, but he is not a shallow class. Because eventually, once you unlock all the cards, you'll discover that you can do a lot more than just smacking gobs with a giant hammer, although that is amazing. You can manipulate your HP to trigger certain items. You can intentionally keep bad statuses so you can use them as resources. You can even build a block-only deck, making yourself an impenetrable wall, and these are just some of the interesting builds you can make with the Ironclad. Now, for his backstory, it is actually as simple as his deck. He wants to be the very best like no one ever was. So he made a pact with a demon, and then he became the very best like no one ever was. Because there was no one left, he killed his entire tribe in the process. So now he sets off to slay the Spire so that, I don't know, because he's strong now, I guess, or something. Now, personally, I recommend the Ironclad if you want a solid and intuitive deck with high impact cards that work by themselves and can make you feel very strong very fast, while still having the option of more complex and rewarding play patterns. Or if you like guys with big swords, as I love guys with big swords. Now, let's get to the second character, the silent. Oh, oops. I thought, okay, let's just click here. Anyway, in some ways, she's the inverse of the Ironclad. Instead of big dam, she deals many, many little dam. Instead of raw big blocks, her defense usually involves some other thing, like card draw or retaining the block for a turn. Instead of gaining max HP, she actually drains HP of her opponents by the poisons. But honestly, I think just saying that doesn't do her any justice. What she is the most agile character in STS. I mean, yes, she is literally the rogue, you can see that. But also in the game, as her agility is represented through her ability at providing options. In short, card draw. Her kit has an insane amount of card draw, and while it seems some have drawbacks like you have to discard after you draw cards, she also has ways to turn those into advantages. That means that with the right setup, you can always get to the card that you need, no matter how thick your deck is. Now, personally, the Silent was the last character that clicked with me. Though I did enjoy chucking out million shivs, these small dagger things, which is the easiest way, I think, to win her. I didn't get it immediately, but eventually, after playing unreasonable amount of time, it clicked. And when it clicked, I really enjoy playing the Silent now. Like, solving fights feels a lot more rewarding, even compared to the other two characters I haven't talked about. Her decks really rely heavily on card synergy, and realizing how this card combos with that card can be a very like eye-opening experience. Like, you feel your brain expanding. Now, as for her backstory, I find it to be the weaker of the bunch. She's basically a huntress, and having gone on a hunt as some sort of ritual, she became like, I guess, the huntress, the assassin of the Foglands where she's from. And then wearing the skull of her greatest quarry, which would look familiar to those who have played the game. She heads out to slay the Spire, the biggest game of them all. Personally, I recommend the Silent if you're looking for some more technical and nuanced play patterns, wanting to throw a whole lot of cards at your enemies, or feel very rewarded for building something awesome out of random cards the game gives you. Or if you like bare feet baddies who can literally just kill you. No, sure. Next is the Defect. Oh, our boy, our sweet robot. How we thought we lost you in the sequel. God damn you, Mega Crit. Whereas Ironclad is simple and the Silent is technical, the Defect is, let's say it's a lot. This class is built with a subsystem, the Orb system. I won't go too deep into it, but you can think of them as various floating spells that have a passive and an active ability. Understanding how these orbs work is essential to play Defect. And there's also Claw. Now, the sentence, "I think I'm doing something," is something that probably has come out of anyone who has played Defect or has tried it out. Having an additional subsystem to manage can be quite a jump in the learning curve, but what makes it worth it is the fact that Defect probably has some of the best endgame potential. Powers, a card type that give buffs during the fight, are its strongest suit. Combined with the cards that generate a lot of energy, which it has, it can become such a powerhouse that you can literally revert into a card-chucking caveman by the end of the run. And also, it has a lot of zero-cost cards like Claw. a claw, which is the law. Now, I perceive Defect as a setup character in other card games. This means playing a bunch of cards that don't necessarily do anything big on their own. Instead, they're a part of a puzzle or a system, as our boy here is a robot. And once the pieces fall in place, the game instantly turns to your favor. So I think among all classes, Defect is where assessing the value and potential of any given card and how you plan to build around it or pivot if RNG isn't in your favor is more important than the rest. Now, the Defect story is actually the most interesting, seeing that it is a being born from the Spire. As its name suggests, it is an automaton similar to some of the enemies you will fight in the game. However, unlike its other programmed brethren, it gained sentience, thus it being the Defect, being different. It is then approached by Niao, and I guess she can repair you when you die or whatever. And then it sets off to slay the Spire and try to be free, I guess. Or, I don't know, unlock premium mode for its AI or something. Maybe. Not really sure, but it wants to do it, so like, alright, let's do it. Now, personally, I recommend Defect if you're one of those card game freaks who like building jank, like those Rube Goldberg machines that somehow do something eventually, or you are a lover of the long game, or someone who enjoys crafting a beautiful, powerful machine made of cards that deliver absolute destruction and annihilate bosses. Or if you think robots are cool, and they're pretty cool. And it is still in a sequel, which is very awesome, and boy did our Defect really just started chugging some protein after the first game. Sick. Now, lastly, we have the Watcher. The Watcher is fucking broken. Everybody knows it, and everybody loves her. But explanations are, of course, in order. The Watcher is the last character you can unlock. Not just that, but you have to actually win a run with any of the 3 characters first. So it assumes that you kinda know how to play the game before you get her. Then looking at the class itself, the Watcher has some of the most powerful OP cards in the game, which is counterbalanced by some of the most dog shit cards in the game. And even then, you can still make her work, because on average, her cards are just damn good. I haven't even talked about the main gimmick of her character, the stances. So you can switch between 2, then eventually 3 stances. You're calm and then wrath. When you're calm, you're chilling, and then you get extra energy when you get out of it. Then when you're in wrath, you get really angry, and you deal twice the fucking damage, destroying any proper balance they set for in the game. I mean, sure, you also take twice the damage, but that doesn't really matter if you kill them first, which you easily can, and you always take the first turn of every fight. Now, there's also like another stance called Divinity, which is harder to reach, but you also get like even more energy and more damage, and it only lasts 1 turn, but whatever. We don't need to know that right now. And alongside all of this, her other main mechanic is Scry. It works like Magic the Gathering Scry, which is you peek at some cards in your draw pile, then you can filter them. Which means not only can you deal giga damage, but you can also get to your key cards faster because you are basically dictating which cards you draw. She is fucking broken and super awesome. Like, obviously, she needed more time to cook, but sometimes, medium rare steak is just better. And true. Now, personally, I love the Watcher. She activates the whole high risk, high reward neurons in my brain as I transform Slay the Spire into blackjack / Russian roulette. Her backstory is pretty, meh, and I feel personally is the weakest out of the 4. She's like part of the monastery, and then she was sent to investigate why her fellow monk stopped reporting on the Spire. And I guess she didn't find out because she's part of Niao's endless resurrection carnival. And she's also blind, by the way, which somehow I keep forgetting, even though it's kind of in the cards, you can see like she's like close her eyes. And she's not out necessarily to slay the Spire as the game title suggests, but to evaluate it as per her backstory. That means she's out to fucking audit this cursed place. And Here I thought I was playing a fantasy game. I recommend Watcher if you want to feel like a degenerate. If you like red deck wins. If you like to create the easiest infinite combo in the game. But to be a bit more serious, if you like your game to have really high highs and low lows, if you want to feel like a martial artist, like throwing hands left and right as you weave from one stance or another, then she is your girl. Or if you like blind baddies who can literally just kill you, that's fine too. So that's an overall view about Slay the Spire and its playable characters. Now, if you managed to still be here, thank you very much. And now let me reward you with the good shit. The deck's real sickos play in STS. Ironclad. Step 1, pray you get Corruption. Discard. Step 2, pray you get Dead Branch. This relic. You got him? Congratulations, your entire run is now Casino. You're gonna keep throwing cards, they're gonna keep being exiled from the deck, and then you're gonna be replaced with new cards. You don't know what's happening. You're just blindly in a haze, just throwing cards, and somehow you keep winning. That's pretty much it. Now, the silent, long-time fans would probably expect something like Shivs, but the real good shit is going essentially Miracle Rogue, like Hearthstone. You find this card, which allows you to basically replace your hand, and then this card to draw a lot, and then this card. And then you get these cards, which really do nothing unless you discard them, which guess what? You do a lot now, and I think you now see the pattern. You're just going to keep drawing and discarding your entire deck, theoretically, forever and ever. Just don't forget to actually attack. But then there are also relics that allow you to actually just deal damage and also gain block when you're doing this whole wheel spinning thing. So you don't even have to do any attack ever. It's awesome. Defect. Claw decks. That's it. Claw is the law. And then get more zero cost bullshit. Then pray you get all for one this card so you can go plus ultra on all their asses. And then like screw the orbs. Don't worry about it. Or at least fine, get the cold ones, the frost ones, so that you can have some sort of block. Lastly, the Watcher. Now I would like you to open up a new tab and then search Rushdown Infinite STS on YouTube or Google or Brave and watch the thing or read the thing. You did it? Okay, good. That's it. That's all you need to know. Personally, I recommend this video because this person explains why the Watcher is so fucking broken. She's so fucking broken and she is awesome. Now, for the real question. Do you really need to know all of this before trying out Slay the Spire 2 coming into early access this week? Hell no. What? But now with such a reputation in the indie space, I feel like there will be much more people trying out STS2 than maybe even the first game's player base? I don't know, I'm guessing here. But I also think it's always cool to have some historical context. Understanding where they came from allows us to better see where they're going. So if you have the extra cash, give the first game a try. I mean, it is one of the greats for a reason. And with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you all for watching. Big shoutouts, by the way, to Canva Pro for allowing me to pretend that I have some graphic design and presentation skills, which I do put in my resume because every little bit helps. I am not sponsored by Canva Pro, but maybe, I don't know, one day, we'll see. Also, shoutouts to my wife, who I introduced the game a few months ago and is now as addicted as I am. So we're both very, very excited to play PvP. We're both very, very excited to play co-op in STS2. And lastly, to you, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Till then, bye-bye.